all the components partial data camera. I believe I've mentioned that component of pure data camera. So what I want to do now is I'll be telling you the quantity rate at which you can if time permits. Yeah. So let me start with number one. We have the camera. Wait, we said we are getting the report.
Oh,
when are we getting that report?
But when we do it, I must send the same to more surprise side by side.
Are you guys?
Okay, I think you have to push us into getting it.
Okay, we need to push you guys into getting it.
The next people pass it now.
Okay, next week they are passing out. Instead of buying a chair, they should just buy a board. So when we know the cost, others can support them. So that's another good idea. Back to our class. We have cameras. That's number one. Number two, we have connectors. Number three, we have the adapting box that the electrician calls adaptable box. Number four, we have the cable. And the cable we use it to connect the camera to the DVR and camera to the power supply. Number five, we have the DVR. Number six, we have the power supply. Your power supply can either be a unit power or a central power. And your power supply will definitely, most of them have power plugs. Some of them use wires to connect it. Next after that, we have our monitor. Next after the monitor, we have the visual cable. And you know your visual cable can either be AV, VGA or HDMI. And in some exceptional cases, we have DVR. Next after that, we have our navigating unit. So it can be a wired mouse, it can be a wireless mouse, and it can be a PTZ console. Next after that, we have our storage device. So your storage device, that's where all the information is coming in. Your storage device is where all the information is coming in. So there's the camera. Can I move on? So all I've listed restricts you to immediate and post-event play. That is, you want to watch what's happening lately, and you also want to watch what has happened. So these are the components that you now need for intermediate view or remote view. You need a router. Just that one by the side. You need a router. You need a modem. You need a SIM. You need internet cable. You need a data. You need a remote access device. Your remote access device can be your mobile phone, it can be a tablet, it can be a desktop computer, it can be a laptop computer. You need the right application. You need to know the right application that is working with your DVR. And note, it's the type of the DVR that will tell you the type of application that you use. It's the type of the DVR that will tell you the type of application that you use. So, you know, example of app that we have U-Box, we have V380 Pro, we have the XMEYE, we have the XMEYE Pro, we have the NI. Okay, I'm too fast. Okay, we have the XMEYE. We have the XMEYE Pro. We have the NI. Can I move on? The major function that the camera has. What is the function of your eyes? You use it to see. I thought you use your eyes to eat. And for some cameras, we have cameras that has inbuilt audio. As the camera is like this, it can also pick what they are saying near the camera. We have what we call the audio device. We'll still come to that one. We have cameras that have two-way audio. When you hear they say a camera has two-way audio, it means the camera has a mic and it also has a speaker. It means that when you speak closer to the mic, the camera can pick what you are saying. And at the same time, at the DVR end, when they speak from DVR end, they can also hear because the camera has its own speakers. That camera with two-way audio. The whole of this class will be passed in a Number one, we have what we call the input part. We have the input part. That's where informations are coming in. For the input part, under input part, that's 1A, we have the power input. We have power from it. Then we have the lens sensor. That's another input part. The lens sensor. Bring the screwdriver. Let me pieces this. The information, the image comes in. So if I have someone that wants to dash me food, I'm available to collect me food. High quality camera for the photo. Can I move on? So what are the input part that I just mentioned now? One. Power input, and I also mentioned the mic. Yes, I said three input parts. We have the power inputs. We have the lens sensor. The power input bring in energy in form of electrical energy, DC. The lens sensor, that's what I'm trying to see if I can get the lesson. Give me plier. Plier. The lens sensor is inside here.
You can start screw this one.
Don't know me very good. Then for camera that have audio, it has the microphone that pick up the voice. So that's it. I want to show you the lens sensor part. But pending now I'm showing you the lens sensor part. Let's to part number 2. We have the output part. I should not explain in details the inside of the camera. No, we have gone to one camp before like that. NYS camp. I want to do practical. Everything's on ground. There's electricity. And they said, Donald, were you in that camp? Is it 2 camps or 3 camps ago? And those guys said they don't need practical. They are okay with the information they have. That's what I'm asking. This is the lens sensor inside. I'll still pass it around. That's the lens sensor inside. That's the lens sensor inside, so you can pass it around so that you can see. That's where the image comes in and the processing. So number 2 parts I'm talking about is, and it can be in any arrangement. I just decided to use this arrangement. We have what we call the output parts of the camera. Number 2 parts, we have output part of the camera. 2A, we have the video output. For the video output, that's where the video signal goes out. Some camera has, that's the BNC port. In some cameras, that video output, that BNC port can embed audio. So that same video output will carry both the video output and the audio output. So it's not only video. There are some cameras that it's not only video that will go out here. It will carry video and audio. And in some cameras, it will have a separate audio output and another separate video output. Are you guys with me? Can I move on? For some camera, it has speakers. It's also an output part. When, if you speak from maybe your DVR or from your phone, the person at the camera end can hear what you are saying conveniently. Like those solar cameras, it's two-way. You know, that the day you guys were installed in the house, from that camera, that's where I was making even the discussion with you guys. Can I move on? So we have the video output, we have the audio output, and some we have its own speakers. Number 3, we have the IR part. That IR stands for infrared. Number 3, we have the IR part. That's IR stands for infrared. And this is the infrared part here. If I want to let me pieces it in full, so that let me use language of one of my guys. Say I will dismantle everything. So this part is the IR part. The IR stands for infrared. And under IR part, we have 2. We have the IR LED and B, IR sensor. So 3A, we have the IR LED, and B, we have the IR sensor. IR LED, and we have the sensor. So this is the IR part. This is this is the IR part. So the IR LED, these are the LED. At night, or when there is low light illumination, it will emit infrared ray. That thing normally looks like a red dot around. Although in this type of camera it's covered, so you don't see that red dot. That red dot, but it's still working. In some camera that we call colored night vision cameras, that even at night they show colored, this IRD LED will emit normal light. That's why those colored night vision cameras normally have colored images at night. It will look like normal light. There is even one saloon close by here where sometimes when they want to save energy, is the light coming out of the camera, they will leave. The moment they have customer, that's when they put on their normal electricity, normal electrical lights. The next thing that it has, that's B. This is the sensor. This sensor measures the light intensity. When there is a very high light intensity, it switches off the LED. When there is low light, when there is very low light intensity, it switches on the LED. When there is high light intensity, it switches off. And this is the major reason why energy consumed by camera is high at low light intensity, because this LED, this IR part consumes a lot of energy. Are you guys with me? This is IR part. Should I pass it around? I pass it around. So it has the sensor and it has the LED. The sensor is the one that will switch it on and off, while the LED is the one that will bring out the light or stay off. Can I move on? The third part that we have after the IR part, we have the lens part. We have the lens part, and this is the lens part. This part, these two. And under the lens part, we have the lens itself, which is normally a convergent lens, and we have the lens sensor. We have the lens itself. This is the lens itself. Sometimes you normally have 2 lenses, one at the back, one in the front. I know something, the thickness and the distance of these lenses is what will determine the coverage of the camera. Are you guys with me? So we are having 40 minutes to the end of this class, and I wish I can explain this thing full. Then the lens sensor is where the converged images, where it converge, where it turns into electrical signals. And let me now tell you one funny thing. This lens sensor normally receives an inverted images. If someone is standing like this, the lens sensor will receive it as what? Upside down.
Why, sir?
Eh?
Why, sir?
That's the phenomenon. The moment the image is coming in like this, it will receive it as an upside down image. There's another part there that will now set it right. I'm still coming to that. Next, after the lens sensor, we have what we call the SPU. This is the SPU. SPU stands for Signal Processing Unit. You know, I once had one of my health training. He went for an interview somewhere, and they were asking him some questions. He said, "Oga, thank God for theory classes." Now that will make me, at least he has one leverage over them. And as I'm talking to you now, although I have left that company, it was one of the major reasons why I got the job there. So this is SPU. SPU stands for Signal Processing Unit. That's where the first information is processed before going to the DVR. You know, I told you in partial data cameras like this, it will send it as normal variables like video and audio. But if it's IP camera, the information will be processed in full here and send it out in form of data. So under the signal processing unit, that's where your lens sensor is connected to. That's where your IR is also what? That's where your IR is also connected to. And most time, note, your IR normally have its power separate from the SPU. The power that is coming here from here is already separated inside this wire before reaching the infrared. It doesn't even come to the SPU at all. Do you guys get what I'm saying? The only thing this SPU does is that to switch it on, tell it go on and go off. Do you get what I'm saying? The power that will power this IR part is normally directly from the power source here. So what this SPU will just do is that it will tell it either to go on or go off, and this is the communication cable for it. And there are sometimes they will tell you the infrared is not coming up. Sometimes this might have been disconnected or this is not working fine. And in such experience, at night the camera will be black. So if they don't want to change the camera, you can tell them to get a floor light. That's why some installation will normally put the floor light on top of the camera, so that at night it will still have a very sharp image. Next, we have the casing. That's another part. This is the casing. That should be number one, or what number? Number 5. The camera casing. Your casing can be steel, mild steel. It can be plastic, as these cases. It cannot see. These ones are plastic. I know. During maintenance, one of the things we normally do is that we normally clean this. Can I move on? The next we have after that, we have what we call the camera mount. M-O-U-N-T. Let me ask you one question. What normally control your head?
Neck.
Is your neck. Yes. This same camera mount is also like the neck of the camera. That's what you use in adjusting the view of the camera. So the camera mount is meant for adjusting the view of the camera. And we have so many different types of mounts. We have the stable mount like this. We have the pendant mount. They normally been like this. But the same function that all the mounts do is that we use them in adjusting the view of the camera. And we even have the motorized mount. We have some that have image sensing, that the moment it sends someone like this, the camera will be following the person around.
That's PTZ.
Some PTZ. Can I move on? So that's the part that makes up your camera.
I think the camera has sensitive.
What kind of
That's the LED sensor. Switch on and switch off the light of this camera. Have I talked about the lens parts? I've talked about the input parts. I've talked about the output parts. I've talked about the camera mounts. I've talked about the camera casing. I've talked about the IR parts. And I've talked about the SPU. So, do you have any question? If you have any question, raise your question now. There are questions that
you said they have plastic and rubber.
Yeah, in the olden days, most that are made of mild steel. Most of the camera tied it up. Most of the camera days, the technology has advanced. That we have plastic cameras that can also serve as an indoor camera. Can I move on? If you have question, raise your question now.
Ask me about this.
That one, so that water will not come inside. It make it waterproof. All these ones are to make it waterproof. All these, what do we normally do? Is to make it waterproof so that water will not spoil the camera. It's part of the camera cover. So after talking about, you have another question, okay?
Sir, you said the lens of the cameras. The lens of the cameras determines the coverage of the camera. Is there a way we can identify the...
I will still come to that when we come to another. They normally write it on the camera like this one now. They will write 3.6 mm. In the part of this camera, how many mm is this camera? This one is also 3.6 mm. Some you see 2.5 mm. We talk about that. Some you see 6 mm. Give me that screwdriver. Are you seeing now? Can you also notice why I said that the power that power the LED? Normally, see what I'm saying. SPU stands for signal processing unit. Sure, we'll do a fucking passing.
Eating cameras.
We have 20 minutes to end this class. We started this class when?
11:50.
11:50, so we are ending by 12:50. So we have like 20 or 10 minutes to end the class. Check it very well, though. That's the IR LED. That's IR LED. At night, if you buy it like that, that will bring out red lights, infrared lights. I'll even give you an assignment on that. Write like just 2 paragraphs on infrared information. Infrared, the functions of infrared in cameras. Just 2 paragraphs. Functions, that's, I don't forget to my own. If I give you an assignment, you don't do it. Against this class, you will buy cocoa. I still remember that Amaka is owing us 2 cook. Roti is also owing us.
No. At all.
Oh yeah. So can I move on? Let's now move to functionalities of cameras. What are the internal particular functions that are peculiar to cameras that makes one different from other? I will give you some of it, and I will now give you assignments to look for others so that it's not be like as if I'm feeding everybody. Number one, under functionality, we have what we call WDR. WDR. And WDR stands for wide dynamic range. WDR stands for wide dynamic range. Why dynamic range is the functionality of the camera to give you an optimum image quality at any light intensity. Why that? To connect part. Can I move on? Next function is what we call white and day and night function. Day and night function. As the phone about to ring, you see anybody that is phone ring now, you find it. From now on, anybody during class that your phone ring like this, what should be the fine? Bottle of Coke.
Stand up for 2 minutes.
Or Origin bitters.
My phone will never ring.
Sometimes the law that you make can work against you yourself one day.
The reason why justice is blind.
That's why justice should be blind. Both connect. In day and night function, during the day, your camera, we have 3 types of day and night function. When start from A, there are some during the day, your camera, or when at night, the infrared, you really want to power it, and infrared will show you black and white. And then move on.
So in the day.
Colored in the day, that's 2. It will show you black and white at night. The first one will show you colored images during the day, at night no image. B will show you colored images during the day, black and white at night. And 3, we have what we call, they call it sometimes, they call it color VU cameras. Sometimes it's called color night vision cameras. Sometimes it's called colorful cameras. It's still the same, they are still referring to this third one. Either they call it colored night vision, color VU, or colorful. They are still the same. In those ones, the IR part will emit light, standard lights that your eyes will see. So either during the day or at night, it will show you colored images. But we don't use colorful cameras for hidden purposes. But what you want to eat, and light don't already show there, you have already compromised why you hide it. So some of them do not work at all, just only work during the day, no working at night. Some of them you show color during the days, black and white at night, and the colorful you show color during the day and colored at night. And note, if that infrared gets spoiled, this infrared also gets spoiled, you have start having complaint. It might be as a result of manufacturer default or power. You start having complaint, like customer will complain that at night, your client will complain at night, that will not, the camera will not show, but during the day it will show. You know that it's this infrared that's either having problem, or in the best way, you advise the client to place the camera where they do it. Can I move on? Next after that, we have what we call the camera pixel. Camera pixel. At least everybody is already familiar with pixel, because when you want to buy phone, one of the things you ask is what, how many megapixels? They tell you the front camera is 5 megapixels, the camera is 15 megapixels, or 48 megapixels. And when we are talking of pixel, in a layman term, is the smallest part that you can see. Technically, we say it's the smallest visible dot of an image. And when you see they say megapixel, meaning million dots. So when you see a camera saying that this camera is 5 megapixels, for every image generated, there are 5 million small dots that came together to form a single image. We have 1 megapixel, we have 2 megapixel, we have 3 megapixel, we have 4 megapixel, we have 5, we have 8 megapixels. But note there is a disadvantage to this pixel. The higher the pixel, the more storage that will be consumed on your DVR. The higher the pixel, the more the storage that will be consumed on your DVR. Láfíà. Ah, mo ti pọ̀ jù. Láfíà tí. Láfíà. Alhamdulillah.
Correct. Now, you're right.
Back to my class. The higher the megapixel, the better the quality. Yeah, the two will do what? Work with together. Or if you have a 5 megapixel DVR and you put a 2 megapixel camera on it, as long as the video format is still the same, it will work. Under the camera parts, I forgot to add some one thing. It's not common, but it's in some cameras. Put it there. We have what called the video switcher. That video switcher, I just remember now. You can use it to switch it, the camera from TVI, CVI, AHD, and CVBS. Under the camera part, there's a part, it's not all camera that have it, but some have it. We call it the camera switcher. We still talk about it, other functionalities of camera. You can use it to switch from TV high. Let me even give you guys assignments, concept, so that by next class we'll have go and work just one single paragraph on CVI, another single paragraph on CVI, another single paragraph on CVBS, and another one on AHD.
Say it again.
CVI, TVI, CVBS,
90. 90.
09. Let me start all over again. We have CVI, CVI, CVBS, and AHD. And on those 3 things I just said now, you just write one paragraph. I'll give you how many assignments now? 5. What is the first one?
Who's the second one?
Okay, just
2 paragraphs on the
two paragraphs on what?
infrared.
Infrared functions and what infrared does on CCTV camera. That's one. Then number 2 now, you need to give me a right just one paragraph on TVI, CVI, CVBS, and AHD. And if you don't do my assignment, now one code. One thing like this.
Evidence.
Are you not with me?
Evidence.
Origin.
Sir. Can I move on? How many functionality have I given you? I've given you WDR. I've given you what? Day and night function. I've given you camera pixel. Although this one is not common again, we call it polarization function. Polarization function. Although it's not that common again. In polarization function, when we are talking of polarity, we are talking of positive and negative. When it comes to charges, it comes to live and neutral, or north pole and south pole. And when it comes to male and what female, I know that weird, that one you will laugh. Donald, I don't trust you. How many of us here trust Donald? Nobody will trust you. See your life outside. Can I move on? Can I move on? Nobody's talking.
Right on, sir.
When the polarization comes, no, this one is not complicated. We have some cameras that they are no polarizer, meaning that the moment you make mistake in connecting the polarity, when you want to power the camera, you make mistake of positive to negative, like the camera just won't understand. In the olden days, we have number 2, we have auto polarizers. Meaning that you don't need to be conscious of which one is negative or positive. It will switch by itself. And we have some, the third one, they have polarization limits. When you make mistake, the camera will not come up. You normally have a fuse. It will wait for you to correct yourself. And if you don't correct yourself on time, that fuse will cut. So normally what we normally do in those days is just get a soldering iron, take a very thin wire and connect it back. That's polarization function. And polarization deals with the power. So it's either positive and negative. Life, and we are using positive and negative here. So one thing I normally advise that be sure of your polarity before powering your cameras. Be sure of your polarity before powering the cameras. Be sure that your positive is positive. And don't forget, positive is either red or brown. Negative is either black or blue. And I normally say one thing. All you need to do is just spoil one camera. The moment you spoil one, you will not forget to confirm that for you. You know, there was one of my guys that visited us here some time ago. Those generations that were here then, they are gone. He was telling them his experience. When he went to install 8 cameras by himself, it's not that sharpening. It's a satellite installer, but it's not a CCTV installer. He now made mistake in the polarity. As he's powering the central power like this, it was just like pa, pa, and out of the 8 cameras, 4 got bugs. Praise the Lord. And he said the amount that he spent on replacing the 4 cameras is even more than the total profit that he has made. It took him some time to gain confidence to start fixing camera by myself. Most time during those times when he need an installer, I always call on me say, Panayo, just give me one of your boys that will help me connect it, especially the power part. Because if you make mistake in the power part, your camera will go bad. If you make mistake in the video part, sometimes the BNC port on your DVR can get spoiled. Any question for me on that polarization function? I'll give you assignment number 3. Write 3 other functions of cameras. 3 other functions. Okay. Ma? Ẹ lọ sínú kọ̀ntínà. The job that we did yesterday, I was telling you guys, send me the picture on WhatsApp. Nobody has sent me the picture on WhatsApp. Don't worry, when it comes to when I pay you guys, I also tell you guys to wait. Maybe that one is good. So until when you wait, you know, in your language they say gbàgbúgbàdà nílé, gbàgbúgbàdà lóko, kókó ṣojú owó àwọn àgbà. That is, I will do you. Oh yeah, question.
The question.
I said 3 other functions of cameras. Just write about 3 other functions. I've given you WDR. I've given you day and night function. I've given you polarization function. And I've given you camera pixel. So you also do research on 3 other ones. 3 other functions. And you know, all of you must not write the same thing. One thing I will do, if 2 of you copy the same thing and I catch you, 2 of you buy one Coke, come for class. So if you like, allow another person to copy you. If you like, allow another person not to copy you, but to copy you indirectly. Can I move on? Next thing I'm now moving to is types of cameras. Types of cameras. And when we are talking of types of cameras, we are talking of the physical thing that makes this camera different from that one. I'll first start on. Let me first explain something. We call it visual card. And I've explained for those that have been in my income training, you remember. How many of you were in my income training here?
There is a question online here.
Okay.
Like, how do I know when HDD is not working?
When your hard disk drive is not working.
Yeah.
When you go and check on the hard disk drive on your DVR, you see a question. Instead of it to bring a normal status, you see it bringing out question mark, or that place where the hard disk should be. It will not even bring any information at all. So when there is a question mark on it, and you can't see the storage left, the storage use, you know that there is an error with your hard disk. And not every time there is error in the hard disk. Sometimes it might even be the cable, like the last job we did,
Yes, ma'am.
that Igvision DVR. It might even be the cable that is not working. And there are normally two types of cable. There is one cable powering the hard disk drive, and the other one is sending information between your DVR and your hard disk. So the moment you notice that there is a question mark, and I normally advise, the responsibility to check the health status of your hard disk does not depend on the installer. It's the owner of the DVR. And sometimes when you are on CCTV, put it there that the responsibility to check the health status of your DVR is not your responsibility. It's the responsibility of, at least once every month, your client that install your CCTV for maybe an organization, an individual or an NGO, they must be checking maybe that the hard disk is working. Because one thing is, hard disk is like an insurance. You don't get it when you need it. You don't need it when you have it. The day that you now need to do playback, that is the day they will now say, for the past 6 months, this hard disk is not working. They should be checking it at least once every month. That is the diversion from the class based on the question that is being asked. So we have 7 minutes to the end of this class. Should we have an interactive section before the end of the class? Or I should just continue? So before we have, let me put the last 5 minutes of the class on the interactive section. On your visual card, if you are standing like this, there is a distance between where you are standing and where you start viewing. There is a distance from where you start viewing to where your limit of view is. And there is a back view. Maybe I should draw this. You need to pass the phone to him. Small. Hold the phone like this. Hold the phone like this. So let me assume that this is the camera. We'll still talk about it next time. From where the camera is, from this horizon to here, there is a distance here where your camera starts in. We normally call it feet length. There is a distance from here to where your camera views very much. This point is focal points. And this point here is your focal length. There is a distance from here, from your feet length, to the limit at which your camera sees. Call it covered length or cover spots. Then from here to the back, where your camera is not seeing anything, we call it blind spot or blind length. So we have our blind spots, we have our feet length, we have our focal length. This point, focal. What am I trying to say? If I'm standing here, from here to the other side of the room, I can see clearly. But the car's distance to my with the name, you know how to place it. Any other question? So in the answer of no question, now call this class.
So I'm submitting the assignment tomorrow, next week.
Ada.